Yo, what's up, guys? It's Joe. I hope you had a wonderful New Year's. And today I want to talk about how I balance a 9 to 5 and producing music. So to get to the nitty gritty, I work a 9 to 5. Technically, I start at 8. So technically, I have an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, just like a lot of people here. And I'm also pursuing a music production career. I try to post at least once a day. I'm pretty consistent about that. And I try to work on music at least once a day as well. So trying to find that balance is a really good place to be at. My end goal in life is I do want to eventually work full-time being a music producer, making instrumentals for others, for artists, for TV shows, for commercials, for movies. That's kind of my goal. But as of right now, I work a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and I have to find ways to balance it out. So if you find yourself in a place like this right now, I hope you feel welcome and seen, because that's where I'm at right now. So essentially what it comes down to is it's time management. You have to find ways to balance the two. I've had a lot of struggles in the past trying to figure out what's the best way to balance the two, because remember, I mean, a job, I mean, it takes 8 hours of your day and 40 hours a week. So that's a lot of time that you have to dedicate to something that's not music related, or if you do work in the music realm, it's still not necessarily in exactly what you're looking for. So my job is got nothing to do with music. So, 40 hours of the week, I'm working, doing something completely not music related. So I have to really be intentional about the time I use. So one strategy that I do to post consistently is like I said, time management, but I always try to do either before or after work. So I will try to look at my day and say, okay, can I figure a way to make some content, for example, in the morning? I know, for example, it takes me an hour to make content usually. I usually like to give myself an hour. So can I make content in an hour before work? Or if it's too much of a hassle, if it's too much of a struggle, then let me save it for after work. And I have to schedule day by day because every single day is different, right? Maybe I have plans to hang out with friends later, so I'll do it earlier in the day. Or maybe I'm staying up really late, today, so I don't want to wake up super early tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll do it late night. So figuring that out is a first good step, is trying to figure out where can I essentially fit in time for me to start making content. Second thing is I have a whole notebook or notepad, or notes, I guess, on my phone. That's what they call it. Notes full of just content ideas. And I encourage you to just do that. Try to just have a bunch of different, ideas that you have throughout the day. So whenever I come up with an idea, I just write it down. And the benefit of that is when it comes to me going to make content, I don't have to think too hard. I just go through my list and go, oh, I can make that today. Or today, that sounds like a good idea. Once I do that, then boom, I go ahead and start filming and I make it. Now, okay, next thing I want you to also think about is I have to think about what I have to also do and how long it's going to take. So right now, earlier I said, that it took an hour for me to make content. So typically for me to make content, like I said, it takes about an hour, editing and all that stuff. So using that idea, if I want to make content every single day, I know I have to have at least 1 hour a day where I can do that. But then, of course, at the end of the day, we're also musicians. So music producers might not only want to just make content all the time, and I'm sure you don't want to. So I also put extra time and figure out other time to try to fit in, making beats for people, or I have to, mix songs for people that I'm working with. So I always have to think ahead about, okay, let's say I have this one song that I'm working on, right? I'm working on the song and I need to mix it. I know, okay, it probably takes me about 2 hours to mix or so, 2-3 hours maybe. So I know I'm probably going to schedule it out. So it's not even going to be just like, oh, one day, oh, you know what? I'm going to go mix the song. It's like, no. let me look at my schedule. Let me look at my calendar. Okay, on Wednesday night, I have some availability. I get off at 5. Maybe I want to chill for a couple hours. So between 7 and 10 p.m., I'm going to go ahead and edit that song. When you start thinking of things in this way, it makes it so much easier to balance your life between work and the work that you want to do, I guess. Other things that I've also learned is I've heard about this thing called the 80-20 rule. I'm going to be honest, I don't really fully understand it, but this is my understanding of it, is like that 80% of the results come from 20% of the work. At least that's how I understand it. And if we're going to use that idea, I found that this especially is true when it comes to content. So for example, I've spent like 3 hours on making one, 30-second video that I post on TikTok, and it gets like 10 likes, and no one is engaged with it. But then I'll spend like 30 minutes, maybe even less, like 20 minutes, making a bit of content that's just like kind of like a joke. And I make it, and then all of a sudden it gets like 1 million views. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. One of my videos on Instagram and TikTok, it has like over 1 million views on both, I believe. And it took me maybe like less than an hour to make. And like, it was more about the idea was a cool idea versus the actual how difficult it was to make it. And it wasn't like I was like filming in this like super cinematic way or anything. It was just like me holding my camera, doing things like that. So when you come to things in that way, you start utilizing your time a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, content wise, I can probably get good content in an hour. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, right? Sometimes I want to make something a little bit bigger or something a little smaller. But typically for me, I'm like, you know what? I've noticed when I maybe just get straight to the point and make something within an hour, have that time limit, a lot of times it works a lot better than the stuff that I spent a longer time on. So just keep that in the back of your mind that you want to, that you don't want to always, and essentially just you don't want to waste your time doing stuff, because remember, you have a limited amount of time. Remember, this all comes back down to time management, okay? Because you have a certain amount of hours that you can use, and then how are we going to use those? Other things, again, going back to time management that I've used, is sometimes you have to sacrifice weekends and hang out with friends. As much as it sounds like not the most fun thing to do, but like there's been a lot of weekends where like I'll have to sacrifice something in order for me to make content, or for me to edit this song, or to make this beat for this person. Like, there's been a lot of times I've had to sacrifice my weekends. And I know a lot of times, and I've had this urge so many times, a lot of times, like, well, I work 40 hours a week, I deserve a couple of days off where I don't do anything. But to me, like, this is what I want to do full time. Like, I want to do music production full time. I want to make instrumentals for people. I want to compose for a film. I want to compose for a TV show. And to me, I get so much enjoyment from doing that it's worth the sacrifice for me to use that time instead of just like, of course you want to rest, but like, instead of just like chilling and go on TikTok for like 4 hours on the weekend, it's like, no. Like, why don't I go ahead and use that time to do something that's actually going to like benefit my career in the long run? And also, like, if you enjoy it, like, you'll enjoy doing it. Like, I enjoy making content. I like look forward to it. Or I enjoy making music. Like, to me, it's very fun. So it's like, to me, I know it is technically work, but it doesn't feel like work. But it's something you have to keep in the back of your mind that, like, it's basically just habits that you have to create. Because you don't want to make this bad habit of like, basically like, oh, every single weekend it's my time, so I'm just gonna like not do anything. Now, with that being said, I also want to get to another point, which is on the other side, like, don't like be like a robot, because I've done this as well. I've done it where like, I was working my 9 to 5, and then literally right as soon as I finished work, I like had like my first meal of the day, because I didn't even eat breakfast or anything. So I literally went hungry the whole day, had some Chipotle at like 5 o'clock, just a quick meal. and then spent the rest of the day just making content, making music. And like, that's like, it was my day every single day. And that is a great way if you want to burn out and hate what you do. Like, I'm telling you, that's a great way. And also to hate your life. Like, it's not fun. So like, you have to find that balance. And I know it's like so cliche to say, but it's true. That's why it always comes back to time management. The same way you're managing your 9 to 5, right? You have certain blocks of hours you have to work your 9 to 5. You have to make certain blocks of hours to work on content, work on your music, figure out those out. But then also certain times to work on yourself. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I got to like sit here and like, I don't know, like it just means that you want to spend time doing things that you actually enjoy. So going and hang out with friends, go hang out with family, go for a walk, if you have doctor's appointments, right, to take care of yourself, go do those things. Like, don't like neglect those, or if you're in therapy, make sure you're going to schedule an hour or two for yourself in the week for therapy. So it's like, it's these things. Essentially, you just want to block these things out. So that way it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing every single day. So it's intentional. That's honestly the best way I've found. And like I said, check my page out. You'll see that like lately I haven't been the best at like posting every single day, but typically I'm very consistent. I'm very consistent about posting. And the reason why I'm very consistent is because people have short attention spans, right? So it's like, if I'm just posting once every 2 months, like, you're going to forget about me. Like, literally, you're going to forget about me. But if you see my face, like, I know this guy, this face, right? You see this face like every single day or like every other day, you're going to get used to me, right? I'm still getting used to me, but I want to make sure you get used to me. So that's why I show up every single day, or I try to show up every single day. Check my Instagram, check my TikTok. I'm not even joking. And I'm not saying this to brag, but it's more just to show the reality of like, okay, at some point you have to get to that place where it's like, okay, I want to make this my full-time thing, right? And to me, that's 100% my goal. My goal is I want to make music content, creation and music, instrumentals, and composing for people and making beats for people. Like, I want to be that music producer. I want to tell people I work full-time as a music producer, and I want that to be 100% true, right? So it's like, you have to take some sacrifices now, build that momentum, and then once you get that, then it's like, okay, then it's like, okay, I'm going to move from my 9 to 5, and hopefully the goal is move full-time into, your music production career. I know I'm not like the most organized person. I have some notes behind, that's why I keep like looking at this like weird like angle. But I just wanted to just top off the top of my head about stuff. I'm not like the best with words, but I just wanted to get the idea out there so you can understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, other than that, I really do want to encourage you to, take advantage of the time that you have, because at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life, right? And for me, it's like, I have found that being consistently posting, it does actually make a difference. Like, I posted consistently back in 2021 from like May. I started in May and I posted like pretty much like every single day. And it took me 6 months until I had my first viral video. And then once I had a viral video, I continued that series and it blew up my TikTok page to 26,000 followers. And, it's like, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't posting every single day. And like I said, I want to go back to that 80-20 rule, or my understanding of the 80-20 rule. It doesn't always have to be like the best quality content you've ever made ever. Like, it doesn't mean every bit of content, every bit of music that you post, it doesn't have to be like the top tier thing that you'll ever release. Remember, it's about consistently showing up. And one thing I've also learned, and sorry, I keep going to side tangents. It's kind of just how I think, I guess. But one thing I've learned is that like, it's your quality gets better just over time, just naturally. Like not even joking. Like, I post videos and then just you start tweaking it just a little by little. You're like, oh, I notice that like when I watch my TikTok video, there's a lot of dead space in it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll cut out that dead space. You cut it out and then boom, all of a sudden your video looks a little cleaner, just a little bit cleaner. And then you're like, now, the lighting's a little weird. And I notice these other people are posting videos with like nicer lighting. Let me just go and like check Amazon if I can find a light. Oh, I found a light for like $20. Boom, get that light. And all of a sudden your video looks nicer. So, I mean, I'm just starting on YouTube basically right now. This is like my third, I think, YouTube video of me trying this out. I have a light right here I finally bought, and I'm using this microphone that I use for singers, and I'm using my iPhone actually to film this all. But, I know that if I am consistent, if like with YouTube, for example, I'm sure I'm going to slowly tweak it enough where all of a sudden it's going to get better, 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 and better. And the nice thing is the more you work on these things, the opportunities start showing up as well. Because when I went viral back in 2021, I had actual people reach out to me. I had this like Amazon affiliate reach out to me, and they asked me to make like 4 videos, short form videos, for like their Amazon page or something like that, or the Amazon influencer page. And they paid me $1,000 for it, for like 4 videos. And like they're short form videos. They took me like each video took me like maybe like, I don't know, 30 minutes to make. Maybe even less than that. So it's like, if you think about it, I got paid $1,000 for 2 hours. Like, not bad. And then they liked it so much, they asked me to do it again. Technically, it was the first time was $900, I guess. So in total, I made like maybe like 8 videos, maybe something like that. And I made about $1,900. Like, and it just came from my social media. It came because I was posting consistently, and they saw that I was posting consistently, and they were like, oh, this guy's an influencer guy that does music production. Might as well hire him to do some content for us. I made it, and boom, $1,900, just like that. And like at that time, I was working a job where I would make $1,900. I'm not even joking, every single month. So to make it in like, I guess 2 times 2, so 4 hours versus an entire month, like that's the end goal essentially, right? Is to be able to make this into a full-time living, right? I'm not there yet, unfortunately. So I'm not trying to pretend like I am, but I will be, So yeah, I'm sorry that this kind of went off topic. I don't know if it went off topic, but if I'm kind of going these tangents, and to be quite honest, I don't know if I'm going to edit this very much, but I really hope this gave you some clarity. If anyone has any other ideas or things they do to help them balance their 9 to 5 and producing music, please put it in the comments. I want to know some more strategies. Definitely help the community out. Let's try to see, the goal is, let's try to have others also find their creativity and make that into their full-time career, because that's what I want to do. And I'm hoping, I don't believe in stepping on people's backs to get there. So let's try to raise each other up together. And yeah, I don't really have much more to say, but I do hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.